Design Review Board for Wednesday, September the 3rd at 2 p.m. We'll take attendance. Looks like Neil, Michael, and I are all here. Approval of the minutes from our August 20th meeting.
So moved.
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. And then our new item, our A Signs, 3637 West Maple Road, Buddy's Pizza.
All right, so our first case tonight is for a new sign for the existing Buddy's Pizza located in the township off of Maple Road. You can see this is where it sits within an aerial of our township. It's inside a strip mall development. There's another one across the street to the north, and then mostly residential on all sides. And then this is where it sits within our zoning map. It's within a commercial business district. It is across the street from office, and it is surrounded by various levels of single-family residential. And so this is the sign that they are proposing. In terms of compliance with the zoning ordinance, we found that it meets most of the standards. So in terms of the size of the sign is limited by the frontage of the building. Based on the calculation, we found that they can be up to 18.48 square feet. They're proposing 15.99. Let's see. It doesn't project above the height of the building. It projects only 3.5 inches out from the wall. And the only compliance concern is with the arrow behind Buddy's, which is considered an illustration, in which we estimate at about 25% of the signage area. So the applicant will need to secure a variance for that element of the sign. This is a rendering showing what the proposed sign will look like on the property. Below, you can see the existing sign, so you can see it's actually a little more subtle in size. This gives you an idea of the entire complex. And then these are existing site photos, so you can get an idea of other signs in the same shopping mall. You'll note most of them are just the name of the business with either a minor symbol, such as the leaf. I believe there's an ice cream parlor with a little cone. But all these are under 5%. And that's it for my presentation.
My only comment, I think the sign looks outstanding. It's more of the retro look from the original Buddy's on 6 Mile Conant, and I think certainly very acceptable to me.
And some history you just threw out there.
I gotta give you all sorts of history. Anyway, so yeah, subject to the variance that it needs, I'm very much in favor of it.
Okay, good.
And I make the motion unless
Yeah.
there's other comments.
No,
Okay.
that's good.
Yep.
I'll support that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 3-0. Item number 2, 2510 South Telegraph Road. That's Percent Coffee.
Yep, so this is our next sign for the night. This is in the same complex. Recently you saw, I believe it was Calico, came forward with this sign. This is in the same strip development. This is where it sits within an aerial of our township. You can see it's at the corner or intersection of Square Lake and Telegraph, a very busy section of our township. There is some residential to the west. And then you can see the zoning map corroborates what we see as actually built. Its offices to the north is commercial, and then residential to the west. And here's the sign that they are proposing. So according to our analysis, it complies with all elements of our zoning ordinance. Let's see, 1 wall sign is permitted per tenant. They're proposing 1. It will not rise above the height of the building. It meets the area requirements based on the frontage calculation. They're permitted up to 37.5 square feet. They're proposing 32.5. It will be internally illuminated, and there will be no exposed neon. The symbol is not a concern because in this district, there are no limitations on logo size. And so from staff's perspective, it is fully compliant with the zoning ordinance. These are further details on the proposed sign showing the projection just a few inches. This shows where it's going to go, the current vacant space. And then here are some other signs on the same development, so you can see how it'll fit in. And that's it for my presentation.
That's good.
I'll make a motion that we approve the sign as submitted.
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 3-0. Look forward to visiting. B, site improvements, 2405 South Telegraph Road, Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Bloomfield.
So you might be familiar with this property. They came forward with a new ground sign either last meeting or the meeting before. Now they are proposing EV charger stations on the existing layout of the site, so they're not proposing to alter the parking lot in any way. They're just adding the EV chargers to the existing spaces. So here's an aerial of where the property sits within our township. You can see it's along Telegraph Road within our busy commercial corridor. This is where it sits within our zoning map. It is a split zoned parcel with RP, recreation to the, Research Park to the northeast, commercial to the southwest, and more commercial to the west. And so in terms of what they're actually proposing, they are proposing two types of chargers. There's going to be a level 2 and a level 3. There are going to be 7 level 2 chargers, which look like this here. 6 will be facing parking spaces, with each one tending to 2 separate parking spaces. There will also be 1 attached to the building at the rear of the property. In addition to this, they're proposing 3 level 3 chargers, which look more like cabinets here. There will be 3 of those also in the parking area servicing parking spaces. The level 2 chargers are about 5 to 6 feet tall. Units are 20 inches and they sit on a 4-foot base. In terms of the level 3, they're large cabinets and they're about 6 feet 3 inches tall. Let's see. They will be servicing regular parking spaces as well as ADA compliant spaces, and they won't be disrupting the ADA compliance of those spaces. And let's see. This gives you an idea of what they'll look like. Here's an existing one on another property.
Good timing.
And then these are site photos. This is kind of the median where they're proposing to place them. And then there's also going to be one wall. I believe it's on this back wall, but the applicant may correct me.
Yes.
Okay, sweet. All right, and that's it for my presentation.
And this won't interfere with their parking requirements?
This will not.
Okay.
Where on the property is it?
Let's see.
I'm having trouble.
Okay, so this diagram, you can see my mouse. So here's the main building. Here's the entrance. You'll pull over here, and that's where you're gonna have the 6 level 2s and then 3 level 3s, all servicing these existing parking spaces with another charging unit on the wall in the rear.
Got it. Are these for public use or are these just for their cars?
My understanding is this for the fleet.
This is fleet.
Yep.
And if I may.
Here, step up to the microphone and introduce
Oh,
yourself.
sure. My name is Roland Katong. I'm with Lane Valente Industries. I'm also E&J Electric. I'll be doing the installation. The level 2s are actually going to be, it's gonna be 12 of them. There's gonna be 6 pedestals, but
That's what I meant.
there'll be 2, and I just wanted to make sure in case it made a difference, but there'll be 2 chargers mounted on each pedestal, so serving, 1 spot per charger. And then
And these are, when you say fleet, this is for their
This,
vehicles?
this is for fleet. It's galling. They have a lot of inventory, and so the level 2s make a lot of sense because they can plug them in overnight, 24 hours, get them ready for the next day. The level 3s are for topping them off, if they've got to get one out in a hurry, service needs one right away so they can work on it. So, but they're also planning obviously for future, but like I say, galling.
So they're
has a-
not,
has a lot of
they're not
inventory.
operating as a destination where somebody can come and pay to charge?
At this point, no.
I'm sitting next to 2 EV owners, so.
Yeah, well, like I say, what their future plans are, at this point, it's fleet. Again, they have a lot of inventory. That's the way it's been projected to us all along, so that's how we're going with it.
Okay. Has the fire department reviewed these plans?
Yes, we routed them to fire. All right, we were supposed to. We'll check on that.
We'll have to double check.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, I will make a motion that we approve as presented, subject to approval by the fire department.
Okay, I'll support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, passes 3-0. Good luck, thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 2, 43141,
All right, so
and through 43313 Woodward Avenue, Kingswood Plaza.
So this is a fairly simple request. They are repainting the roof of the plaza. This is where it sits within an aerial of our township off of Woodward Avenue. There are residences to the rear, but mostly commercial that can visibly see the roof. This is where it sits within our zoning map across the, you can see there's a lot of different zoning districts in this little area. You have office across the street, you have a lot of commercial, you have high-density residential to the south, and then you have single-family residential to the west. And then you're all familiar with this site. It's an existing, commercial area in our township. They're proposing to change the color. So the new metal panel color will be tricorn black, and then the new field color will be snowbound, and then they will be keeping the existing stone facade where that is. And then the new colors can be found in this diagram here. The top shows existing conditions, to the left is existing conditions, to the right is their proposed new look when they have repainted. And then here are some photos of the existing facility. And that's it for my presentation.
Nice.
Was it? Oh, yeah, and if the applicant wants to speak.
If you want to come up, just introduce yourself and.
Brian Lyman with FA Studio, architect.
Scott Leibovitz with Kingswood Plaza. And happy to answer any questions you might have. It's just time to refresh and update the colors. So, we looked at a number of different strategies and color schemes, and we decided that the black with white seems to be the color that we'd like to move forward with, and we're here to get your approval.
Right.
Good choice of color. It's much more attractive and certainly updates it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, I'll make a motion that we approve this as submitted.
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, passes 3-0. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, item number 3, 1914 South Telegraph Road, sidecar slider bar.
All right, so this is a development I'm sure you're all familiar with, this sidecar slider bar. They've gone through site plan review. They have been routed back because of a grease trap to get the grease trap approved. And so we are taking them forward to the DRB. Here's where it sits within our township with an aerial. You can see it's just north of Carl's Gulfland, across or adjacent to Telegraph. There is some higher density residential to the west, but mostly it's a commercial area. This is where it sits within our zoning map. The pink or the reds are commercial, the orange and the yellow are residential. And so this is where they're proposing to place it, where the yellow box is right here. There's a kind of inlet to the building, about 2 feet. They're proposing to place it here. It'll be protected by bollards, and they're going to maintain an 18-foot, I believe 5 inches wide gap, and that will be for fire trucks. In this case, has definitely been sent to the fire department because we were concerned about fire trucks running into the grease trap. The fire department feels that it will not be an issue as long as they maintain this 18-foot, 5-inch separation. Here's what they are proposing for the grease trap. Let's see.
Good old clean star 500.
It'll be 91 inches high, so that's about 7.5 feet, 42 inches wide, 42 inches deep, and it's proposed to be this sort of brown color. However, we reached out to the applicant about screening options. The applicant identified that it will be difficult to screen this location due to the fact it is already paved. And then they highlight the fact that the only people that could visibly see the grease trap are is the property owner directly across, and they have signed off on it, basically. And so that's the applicant's argument for why screening would not be necessary. However, they have proposed to repaint the tank to a color that would match the wall.
More of a greasy look.
Yeah. And then, let's see. Oh, sorry, did I miss it? Okay, yeah. So here's the site plan. This kind of, this shows where the change is occurring, and this is where they're proposing it right here, where this kind of, the building inlets just a little bit.
Indentation.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then here are existing site photos.
It's a big grease trap.
It's pretty big. It's a sidecar slider bar.
Gary, do you want to come up and introduce yourself? And
Hi, everyone. Gary Glorio, owner-operator Sidecar. Good to see you, gentlemen. One thing, I was kind of confused on the screening portion.
Okay.
So I think more talking to Joe Syracuse, it's more protection. So I said I'd put those 2 ballards in, so similar to the one in front of the electrical, you would have 2 just like that in front of the trap. So the 1810 would probably come out 3 or 4 inches. So it'll still be outside the 18.5, so it won't impede in the traffic area. So he said as long as it's not within 18.5, we're good. But yeah, I'd suggest, maybe moving forward, if any restaurants continue to open up an area, and hopefully they will, that these grease tanks become mandatory. I didn't realize, just, being new to the business, how imperative and important it is that, not carrying oil and burning yourself or dropping and starting a fire. But not only on that, with the tenants, Carl's, and the customers hitting golf balls, last thing you want to do is see rats or anything. So you get that oil spill, that grease, that smell from bacon or fries, it attracts rodents. So same thing Wingstop has that you approved. I didn't realize there is this block from a garbage can, so nobody can hit it. So I was kind of confused when we were talking about screening, but I guess the screening is the ballards for protection, so.
Good.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put those 2 ballards like you see in front of the electrical in front of that as well.
Well, oftentimes within the township, we find these type of grease traps incorporated within the dumpster enclosure. So usually when we're talking about screening these type of items, but I think in this particular case, there's some unique circumstances. And plus, because this is a different style of a grease trap, this isn't something that we typically have seen, and sounds like we'll see more of. So that may be something we have to consider moving forward, but as of right now, there's really no way for him to add an enclosure, I think, in this area.
Yep, it looks like more of an updated grease trap compared to some of the other ones. Anyway, I'd make a motion that we approve it with the ballards that the owner has recommended that he's going to include.
Okay, support?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 3-0. Good luck.
Good.
Thank you,
Great,
Gary.
thank you.
How's
you.
it coming? When do you plan on opening?
November, we're looking at,
Wonderful.
so yeah, you'll be the first to know.
Great.
Thank you. And C, we have site plans.
No, we don't have any.
No site plan,
No
sorry
site
about that.
plans. 5, general business. Anything to cover on 1 or 2? Other than our next meeting is Wednesday, September 17th, so we'll move to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
I'll have Matt go out this afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Thank
Take care.
Thank you.